One question we get a lot is, what songs would you recommend to new fans that aren't really into Kiss yet? Well, we'll show you. We're gonna go in and show you our top 10 songs that we would show people, and our criteria was that it has to be 5 ballads and 5 rock songs. Now, I do want to preface this by saying this is in no way based on the charts or what songs are number one. These are songs that we would personally show people who didn't know anything about Kiss. And I went more the route of, these are songs I really like that aren't number ones on the album. Some of them are, but aren't number ones on the album. And I also wanted to go by, if I could hear it on the radio as a greatest hit, then I didn't want to put it on my list.
And I went the other way.
Right. So we're going to cover every
most of mine are pretty decent size hits.
Right. So we're going to cover kind of every outlet here and give you our favorite recommendations.
And we did this in 10 minutes.
We did this in 10 minutes. And these are also not in order. They're just in order of 5 ballads and 5 rock songs. So let's go ahead and start with number 10. Another nuance of this is that we didn't show each other our lists beforehand. So this is the first time that we're seeing each other's lists. So number 10 songs. These are ballads that we're doing.
And not in any particular order.
Not in any order. My number 10 is 1, 2, 3. See You Tonight by Gene Simmons. No way.
You spelled it wrong.
I wanted to be more... This is how you spell it on the MTV Unplugged album, and that's how you spell it on his album. That's actually really funny. This is just a good ballad. Like, you can't even deny that this song is so good.
It doesn't really sound like Kiss, though.
It doesn't sound like Kiss, but it is.
But it's an earworm. Like,
it will stick in your head forever and always. And See You Tonight is, it's up there. That's really funny that we put it on there.
That's an unusual one. I don't think a lot of people would think about that one.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Moving on.
Should I just keep my glasses on?
You can't see. It's all right. Go ahead and put your glasses on. Number 9 is...
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Hard Luck Woman by Peter Criss.
Sure Know Something.
Oh, ooh, different. I love Hard Luck Woman. This is one of my favorite Kiss songs in general because I'm a huge Peter Criss fan. Anything he sings, I probably like it. So I put Hard Luck Woman because it makes me cry every time.
And I like Sure Know Something just because I like the easy groove of it.
The bass line.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are both really good options.
Easy listening so far.
All right, guys.
She tried to look at what I had.
Moving on to number 8. I think it's funny that we kind of have the same answer so far. 1, 2, 3. Sure Know Something. Sang by Paul Stanley.
Dude, I have all these written down on my notepad.
Well, don't spoil it.
Well, I did spoil it. My fault. I'll blur it out.
Yeah, blur that editing. Yeah, I said Sure Know Something. I think for the same reasons. This is actually my first favorite Kiss song. Paul's voice in this one's really good, and I think everything from Dynasty is really good.
And Peter's voice is really good.
Exactly, right. So I put Sure Know Something as my ballad. I think this might be where we start differing after this one. All right, number 7. We're almost done with our ballads.
3, 2, 1.
Beth by Peter Criss.
God gave rock and roll to you.
Nice. So Beth is probably their biggest song ever. Definitely their biggest ballad.
Well,
Everybody
Forever.
knows. Oh my gosh, don't even start with Forever. I'm not talking about Forever right now. Beth is that song. You know, Beth is that girl. God Gave Rock and Roll to You is on the Revenge album, and it's a banger. You know?
And it has some story behind it.
It has some story, if you know the story with Eric Carr and how he does sing on that song. But he doesn't play the drums on the track because of his unfortunate diagnosis. So it has not only sentimental value, but also it's a good song. Like, it's really good, and I always love when Paul and Gene sing together.
Yeah, that was a good song.
Now, I know we're not going to have the same one for this one.
All right.
All right, guys. Oh, my bad. Okay. All right, guys. Now we're on to our last ballad of the day. Or, you know, we might have other ballads, but these are just the 5 required ballads here. And
Three, 2, 1.
We Are One
Beth.
from Psycho Circus. Oh.
And Beth.
And Beth again. I put We Are One. This is a song sung by Gene Simmons in Psycho Circus. And it's a really like heartfelt ballad on an album that doesn't really have a whole lot of really banging songs on it. So I think if I would recommend a ballad, this one was the second one that came to my mind after See You Tonight.
And I like the Psycho Circus version without the intro.
Just Psycho Circus.
Yeah, without the intro, they do have a version of that. So we did what, 4 or 5?
4 out of 5
Wow.
was the same one. That's pretty impressive. Honestly, I was not expecting that. But now we get to move on to our 5 rock songs.
Yeah.
Which is where we are most definitely going to differentiate on our taste here. I gotta check what mine is. I forgot them. Okay. You're gonna yell at me about this one.
Probably. If you put Shandy on there. I was proud of you for not doing the Elder, not doing Shandy.
Why on earth would I put the Elder on here? In what world would I sit
You
there
gotta
and be like,
recommend it to somebody
guys,
else.
you should listen to the Elder. I'm gonna anti-recommend it. If
All right.
it's in her playlist, delete it.
All right, rock songs.
Rock songs starting with number 5.
In no particular order.
No particular order. 1, 2, 3. Rocket Ride is
And
Fairly.
Charisma.
I knew it. I put Rocket Ride because anytime this song comes on, it gets stuck in my head for like 2 weeks straight. And I wanted to put at least one song that Ace sang on here because I am a really big Ace fan. And Rocket Ride to me is that song.
Yeah.
And what about Charisma?
Charisma, I just think it's a really cool song. I think it's one of those things that the first time I remember hearing, because I didn't hear it until recently.
Thanks to me.
Yeah, because like Molly was the bigger fan, and I was like, hey, what's that song where they do like the repeating, and he kind of talks at the beginning and just kind of stays in my head, and now for me, is one of my most played songs.
Oh, for sure. It's
I
a
love
great
that
song.
song.
Shout out Gene Simmons.
And
That's a banger.
And I have Riz, it takes Riz to know Riz, So, I'm a little off the rails here.
Oh, I am too.
little in the weeds on this one.
I think this one's gonna surprise a lot of people that I'm recommending this one at all.
All
But
right.
I love this song.
3, 2, 1.
Nothing to Lose, Peter Criss.
And Black Diamond.
All right, both Peter Criss songs. I said Nothing to Lose. This is my favorite Kiss song of all time, from the original Kiss album. It's so good, and my favorite version is actually the MTV Unplugged version with Eric Singer and Peter Criss both singing it.
Yeah.
But there's something about this song because it's not really like rock, but it's also like it's got a little groove to it, and I really like this song. And Peter sings really well.
Yeah, and I like pretty much all the versions of Black Diamond just because you get to hear the different nuances and the speeds and the effort that they put into it. Like
Right.
they really, the drummers, they really go into it.
My favorite part about Black Diamond is when you hear every version. So like Peter Criss would always say, "I've got you under my thumb," Eric Carr kind of played into that for a while, and then Eric Singer always says like, "Gene, you've got me under your thumb," or like throws in like a band member, and it's really fun just to hear the differences in their singing. Black Diamond is always a win in my book. Okay, moving on to number 3.
Right.
For me, this is another kind of interesting song.
Mine's pretty mainstream.
Right, 1, 2, 3. Plaster Caster, Gene Simmons.
God of Thunder. Also Gene Simmons.
Look, Gene, I love when Gene sings. He's got something to it. And like very differences in songs here. This one's more of a groovy. It's still rock technically, but it's a little bit more relaxed. And then God of Thunder is like, that is his theme song.
And that's getting more into my style. I mean, it's more the heavy metal.
Yeah, Plaster Caster, I don't see it getting nearly as much love as it should because it's so fun. It's such a fun song. And then God of Thunder, he's like on the ceiling. Why would you not want that? that's
and
so
you
fun.
have the opportunity to have like the drum solos. And
exactly.
things like that
and it's kind of a whole family event.
Fun for the whole family.
Fun for the whole family when he
Thunder.
spits blood everywhere.
Right. All right.
We're made it to the top 2.
Right.
Top 2 songs here.
But not necessarily in order.
Not in order, of course. But, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Heaven's on Fire, Paul Stanley.
And Unholy.
That's a good one. Yeah, Heaven's on Fire was my second favorite Kiss song because I heard it and I was obsessed with Paul Stanley for quite a minute. And anything that he sang, I was all about it. And he's got some killer vocals on this track. It's so good.
And I like Unholy because that's the Kiss I wish I had my entire life.
Yeah, I agree.
Breeze Kulick did an excellent job.
So did Eric Singer.
And Vinnie Vincent for writing.
And Vinnie Vincent for writing. Shout out all 3 of those guys. Okay, number 1. This is the one song that we would recommend to any fan. And this would probably be the first one that I recommend.
Mine's very traditional. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Unholy, Gene Simmons.
Rock and roll all night.
Yeah. Like you said last time with Unholy is... Just throw it on the ground, man. Like I said with Unholy last time, it is like prime Kiss for me. I think anything that was in that era, and I try not to go too hard into Revenge because it's either your thing or it's not your thing. But Unholy is so Gene Simmons, and I would say even more maybe than God of Thunder with how hard he goes with it. So this one's going to have to be my number 1 of like what people expect when they hear the name Kiss.
And it was almost just kind of wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Kind of for the
But I definitely picked this one because like when people look at Kiss and they look at Gene and they're like, oh, I know they make like hardcore music. Well, I'm going to give them a hardcore song because I'm not going to play Beth number 1.
If you have newer people, for the most part, think that Kiss is far more heavy than they really are. They really are. So yeah, you got to throw them a bone every now and then.
Even when I did my rock songs, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, these are very tame rock songs. And obviously, Rock and Roll All Night is iconic. It's classic. It's
anthem rock.
It's anthem rock, and I think that is what people think when they think Kiss. I would say I Was Made for Loving You is up there. I didn't want to put that on there because I feel like everybody knows that song anyway.
Well, I didn't want to put that up there because that high note, you appreciate it if you're a fan, but if you're new, you're like, ooh, I'm not sure what this is.
But
it was number 11 for me.
It was on there. It was on my list. And I also tried to make sure I didn't put any covers on mine. Just because, you don't want to have covers. But these are our songs. If you do want to go listen, if you're a new fan, these are definitely songs that we would put on there. And we'll make a little playlist and we'll put it on the channel of all of these songs. Some of them are going to be obviously the same. So we'll just put them all in one. If it's not 20 songs, right? But we'll put our favorite versions on there and go listen to them. Even if you are a Kiss fan, it never hurts to go listen to some more or some newer songs maybe you don't know yet.
Yep.
So
just
thank you.
Something fun.
Yeah, something fun, something we thought about doing, and we were like, oh, we've got these whiteboards, let's do this.
Yeah, but a lot of times you have it, like, if you're, like, on the spot, and some people are like, oh, well, so I think these were...
We wanted to go in and say, here's 10 minutes, find 10 songs, and go for it, and that's exactly what we did. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you want more Kiss content, recommend it in the comments below, and we will see what we can do. And we'll see you next time.